city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years. Fucking amazing for the last 10 years. Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab. The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years. Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab. The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years. Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning.
Live from Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA, this is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Hello and welcome to the Mile High Hockey Lab. My name is Adrian Hernandez. I am here today with Jackie K, Evan Liu, and Brennan Boat, ready to talk about the Colorado Avalanche. Thank you folks so much for joining this 118th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn your alerts on YouTube, especially because then you know every single time we are live. Please be sure to share this Mile High Hockey Lab with your fellow Avalanche fans, and check out the full Spotify channel, which has all 118 episodes. We got a lot to talk about today, folks. Plenty of hockey since our last episode, to include a game last night, which kind of came down to the wire. But by goodness, the Avalanche pulled it off. We'll also look ahead at the rest of the games this week between now and our likely next episode, which include a back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday. And then we will give some injury updates, hash out some other topics, and do some bold predictions. It's kind of same old, but now we are back to the same old, which is talking about the little nuances of Colorado Avalanche hockey. And for that, we have you covered. As mentioned, I'm here with Jackie, Evan, and Brendan. You can find Evan and Brendan's work over at hockeymountainhigh.com. And of course, Jackie is the fearless managing editor at milehighhockey.com, where you can find some more written material, previews, opinion pieces, and all the whatnots that are Colorado Avalanche. Well, let's get right into it, my friends. Jackie, I am going to start with you as our fearless leader. The Avs were able to hold off the Lightning last night, thankfully. They had some really heroic stuff come through in a 5-on-6 situation with about 3 minutes left. They did secure the regulation win. What else did you like about that game? And do you have any notes on some of the other games that happened between our last episode and now?
Well, yesterday's game was interesting for the fact that it was probably the first one in a while that they didn't win analytically. So it was a game that needed, they obviously scored on the power play, needed some secondary scoring. So it was a game a little bit unlike what they've experienced lately. So I think it's good that they found a different way to win. That's kind of my takeaway from yesterday's game. I mean, Tampa definitely still has some weapons, but they pulled it out. As far as the others, I believe we recorded before the second New Jersey game, so I predicted they'd win, and they definitely did.
Yes.
It was just kind of expected that they would put in a better effort at home in the rematch.
Yeah.
As far as the weekend back-to-back, they obviously played really well in Vegas. I think they were amped up for that one. I think that was a good matchup. Like, I considered it highly contested. I think that both teams could generate a lot. It's just there was a lot of good forechecking and defending, etc. So that's what made it a good matchup. And then San Jose, I feel like the kids played really well. They played hard. That's probably
Agreed.
the hardest opponent that maybe we've seen play against them. So I feel like, as annoying as it was that they lost in overtime again, or that they lost to the crappy Sharks, I don't know. Like, if you saw that game and you just saw, like, the Sharks knew they had a chance, it's kind of like those teams, if they get down early, they might, kind of give up a little bit, but they've got some good talent. I mean, Celebrini, that goal was awesome from
Wow.
him. He wasn't
Waiting
really
for my Misa
covered,
goal still.
but
Yeah.
wasn't really covered, but that was quite a shot. So I don't know. I don't think you could be so mad about losing that one. I think the goal they were awarded was a little bit crap. I think they got a little lucky. They even got a point out of that.
Sure.
So I don't know. Like I said, I was just more impressed that San Jose kept up with the Avs and put in such an effort. I feel like they kind of deserved that one. So I guess that's how I see the past week. I think also all the games have all been a little bit different. I think, obviously satisfied with 2 wins and an overtime loss. Can't really ask for
Sure.
much more than that.
Yeah, on the surface it looks great as you put it there. Like, in terms of the result, I mean, the whole beginning of the season so far, and in terms of the results, sure, it's a little unorthodox when you have 5 overtime losses. But what else is unorthodox is having 1 regulation loss this far into the season. And that is kind of how you sneakily get a head start on winning a division, which could prove paramount. I mean, the NHL standings right now are just kind of an anomaly in general. But it's possible that they hold true. I mean, we could see, at least some of these teams that are up there in terms of the Western Conference and the division that stick around. And I think you're totally right, Jackie. Like, what we saw from San Jose was really impressive. I had it pegged as kind of a game that the Avalanche could potentially lose, just based on the fact that you're right. That young talent is kind of, you don't really know where they're at yet in terms of their progression, and they might be further along than people realize. I think that team is closer than people realize. But Brennan, I'm curious how you felt. If I'm not mistaken, that was Mackenzie Blackwood's first game back from injury as well against his former club, the San Jose Sharks. Jackie mentioned he was a little bit out of position on that Celebrini goal. He did kind of appear to be shaking off a bit of rust. What were your thoughts from that performance from Blackwood in his return?
Well, I thought he played well considering the circumstances, but I mean, gosh, those it's a young team that just does not give up. And so they just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. And it wasn't that on the second half of a back-to-back. So they were coming in from Vegas, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
It's been a long
Yeah.
week.
They did get a little
yes.
tired there at the end, for sure.
Yeah.
That third period was a little tired, but it's true. San Jose was relentless.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long week for me. Not as long as Evan though, but
It's only Wednesday too.
oh, trust me, I've been at car
seriously.
shops all day long because
Bless you.
Yeah,
That is the worst. Car trouble is the literal worst. Like, it
Yeah.
never helps.
It never
Brandon,
ends.
the thing that does help apparently is the Avalanche may have found another diamond in the rough, which I don't really know if Olofsson still fits kind of the typical like rebound player, but I do think he's a value add in a similar sense to where you're getting performance from him maybe that's well above his pay grade. He had obviously his hat trick his first career hat trick. Funny enough, the same night that Connor Bedard had his first career hat trick. That'll be a trivia question later on in life. But he also had 5 points in that game against New Jersey. And then he had 2 points again last night, 2 goals again last night. What is working with Victor Olofsson, and how paramount can his play on the second line prove to be for this Avalanche team?
Well, I think Evan was more excited about him coming over than I was.
Yeah.
So I think Evan needs to answer this one.
All right, that's fair. Evan, what are your thoughts?
Oh, we're just redirecting to me. All right. No, you're right though. I did like Olofsson's move when it was announced, and I think the 1.5 was obviously a little bit high considering it was reported at minimum wage, but or like not the minimum wage, but minimum level contract.
Yeah, that whole thing was dumb.
It was, which would have been great, of course, but I mean, regardless, I think Olofsson has been a very good depth piece, that the Avalanche have had, and it's something that has always kind of been a question mark with this team ever since 22, right? Olofsson, granted, he started the year off like a little bit slow, understandable, so right, like your new team, new faces, gotta build chemistry, all that stuff. But then he kind of burst onto the scene, right? And he's been really good. It's giving me Andre Burakovsky vibes, sort of a little bit, which I like. I really like that. He's getting looks on the power play. Like it's definitely a good piece of business for sure to get him some good playing time. He can move up and down the lineup like we've kind of seen already. And it kind of allows someone like a Gabriel Landeskog, for example, to not have to chip in point wise every night, because he hasn't done that much this year, right? But Olofsson has kind of picked that up, so and that allows Landeskog to do other things like fight guys last night and get the team going, right? And that's and the guys in the room said that made the difference, right? And of course, Olofsson, part of that scoring spree that kind of helps push it forward. So really good stuff that I like from Olofsson so far. Obviously, have to see if he can keep it going. I know it's a little bit early to talk about it, but do you think about re-signing him already after this start, or do you wait out a little bit?
Give it some time.
Depends for what, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my thinking with that.
Of a raise, but
exactly. That's my thinking with that.
I will say two things. One, I looked up his shooting percentage, not bad, so that's a good sign. It's not crazy high. We'll say as high as Nate just is flirting with 30, 30%. But and credit to Olofsson, he's definitely you can't expect any more than what he's done. But is it also kind of in contrast to not getting really anything from anyone else in the secondary department?
Yeah, I think that's true. But I think where it's different for Olofsson is I think we all kind of expected the goal side of things. But Bednar's been public. I think even in the interview this morning with Altitude, he mentioned that it's not just his goal scoring. He knew that Olofsson would be an offensive fit based on his time with some pretty big stars in Vegas. But he said where I'm really happy with him is his detail in the game in terms of the checking aspect, and that really was the question rolling in. Brendan, you're shaking your head.
No, vaguely. He's been sharing the heck out of his dashboard thing and sharing it with me on his email, and I have Oh, you're talking about the comments. Sorry, I thought you were shaking your head in terms of what I was talking about. I can't comment because it's shared on my X and it's locked from me commenting, so I can't share. Gotcha. Well, getting back to Olofsson, it's that other side of the game, Evan, and when we asked that question about him heading into the season, it was kind of a mystery, and it's been good so far. How deep into this experiment will you be like, okay, yeah, he can hold his own as a two-way player? Because that is what's going to prove paramount to being in the top 6 come playoff time.
No, you're right. You're definitely right. And I think definitely last night's game, for an example, was a very good defensive game for the most part. I think really after that really good Brighton point goal, the Avs shut it down, right? They did a good job of getting in the way of shots, blocked. Brennan, you probably know the number top of your head. I think it was 15 shots or something, right? Is what I saw at the end of the day.
15 shots blocked.
Mm-hmm. So they're doing a good job of it, right? There have been some not bright spots looking at Devon Taves on that Braden Point goal last night. Wasn't great. He hasn't had the best start to the year anyway, but like the team, I feel like as a whole has done well defensively. And this is kind of where I didn't get a chance to say it last week, but I have a bone to pick with people of like, oh, the Avs are so bad. They can't win. Like, they are first in the league in points. They are leading the league right now. We do not need to fire everybody. We don't need
with a 13 goal differential. Thank you, Vaguely Silver, and your dashboard.
Oh, and by the way, 1 start from your actual starting goalie.
Yeah, right?
It's a whole thing. I don't know why people are going nuts about the Avalanche of like, they're not good enough. Blah, blah, blah. They have points from all but 1 game this year. Yes, they could be, I don't know what it is now, 10-1 or whatever it is, but they could be like, come on.
This
team is
I have an answer for that.
Okay,
I
go
will
ahead, Jackie.
say. As far as being able to tell who's holding up defensively, I mean, they're at like 50% or not 50, 60% analytically. Like, you can't, at this point, you really can't even read anything into it analytically because everybody's good. So I think right now it's hard to say like who really is holding up their end of the bargain defensively because it's so hard to read into it. But I will say I mean, yes, as far as standings wise, you can't ask for better.
No.
I think the thing about this team is that what they do in the regular season is almost irrelevant. Like, sure, it's fun and all, and if they have a better season in the regular season, they win the division or whatever. I mean, that's great. They're on their way to having a better season in that regard. But this team will only answer questions in the postseason. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they win the President's Cup. It doesn't matter if they win the division. I mean, cool, hang the banner, but it doesn't matter. What matters is, are they actually better? And we don't know that yet. So I think complaints are still valid in analyzing their shortcomings. I think they still have some. I still think it's fair to point those out. But as far as like getting on them about the overtime losses, I mean, yeah, it's dumb and it's annoying. I get it. Like, who cares?
So are shootouts.
Them losing in shootouts and overtime is not what's gonna not have them win the cup, right? We know that.
Right.
So I think part of that is a yes and no. It's like, you have to know what you're complaining about. I still think certain things are valid, but I mean, obviously they've won a lot. They've done well. They've had a good start, which they haven't had, I think, in a couple years. So yes, enjoy that part for sure, but they're so far from being able to answer the real questions.
Jackie, you've been on the internet. You know that half the people don't know about what they're complaining about, right?
Yeah. Some people live to complain, but I will say, like, I get it. I get what Jackie's saying. Like, it's fine to analyze this team. I do think it's a testament though to the resolve of a professional. In the sense that, like, you're totally right. The proving ground is months and months away for this team. And yet they still got to show up in the regular season and still got to try and stack up these points in a way that's meaningful. But independently, I think is it's more important to get better as a player inside of one of these contending teams. And someone we've really seen do that, and someone who's been quote unquote developed by the Avalanche, Sam Malinski, seems to really be blossoming into a pro. Brendan, your thoughts on Sam Malinski?
Real quick, Evan had something to say, but he was interrupted.
I was just going to say, like, the argument that we don't know if this team is better or not, I don't think that can be used, because I think that this team is better. And I think about it this way, and it was a whole thing because of the Nature's situation. I obviously wasn't a part of that conversation last week when that happened, at least here face to face. Is that if they had signed Rantanen, they wouldn't have Brock Nelson, Victor Olofsson, Brent Burns, Jack Drury. Like, they wouldn't have these guys. They would be.
I'd argue that some of that might be a good thing.
Like, they would be even more top heavy than they already are now. I think that Drury has done well. I think Brent Burns has done pretty well for the most part, chipping in. I think Jackie, and I think this is maybe where you might be coming from the most, is like we don't know yet about Brock Nelson, which I think that's fair. That is fair to say. But I mean, who would you have still kept Casey Middlestat at this point? I think the Avalanche depth is better than it was last year.
I don't know about it. See, I don't agree with that. You're still looking at a very top-heavy team when you're looking at scoring.
I mean, I'm not debating you that this team is still not top-heavy, because they are. Yes, I agree with that. But I think they are more rounded now than they were, a year ago.
I think they would have been fine with Coyle. I mean, Nelson got his first even strength assist last night. The first one for this season last night. And it was a secondary assist on I think it was the Olofsson goal. So that one went to Malinski.
Wasn't it the second Olofsson goal?
I think so. So I'm still going to say they would have been better off with a different idea there. Like, is he going to score more than 15 points this year? Yes. But not what you're trying to get out of 2C paying $7.5 million.
I think two things can be true simultaneously in this scenario. I think that the Avalanche roster as it's currently constructed is less top heavy. I don't know that it's not top heavy though. Less is the word I would use, which I think is a good thing. I do think the depth is better than it was last season, but I think the truth in what Jackie's saying is not that this team might not be constructed better, but it might not realize any more success than the way we had it constructed beforehand. And that's really where this bread will be buttered in terms of proving this makeup and this concept that the Avalanche have come to, is how it speaks in terms of results. So for me right now, it's not a problem, and it's a team that's really good. And if your ceiling, the top of your top heavy is as high as this team's ceiling in terms of top heavy is, yeah, it's going to feel like there's a wide margin between your best and your worst players, because there is. It's nice to have a guy like Nathan McKinnon on your team creating that gap in talent. But
and then
I'm not going to sit here and say they're not better now.
Rudo says if you're not top heavy, your top line is bad.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
well, two things. We'll see when they hit a valley what that really looks like.
Fair. But what if this is the valley, Jackie? I mean,
this
that's
is
how
not the valley. One
one
regulation loss is not the valley. Okay.
But I also want to point out that the top goalie in the league right now is our backup.
Yeah.
So
that's the other thing. And why are we assuming that having Blackwood back in net is like a better thing?
Exactly.
I mean, it will be in a few months.
This time last year, we were in the depths of complete hell. And
forgive.
Excuse me for saying that, but with Gordon.
But it's not like it was like sunshine after that. They went through a losing streak with Blackwood. Remember, before the playoffs, we even had the conversation.
Sure.
Should they start Wedgwood?
But that was when he was fresh to the brand new team.
But
I agree with you. But
and then fresh, that was months.
I'm talking. He was traded last season, so it was pretty fresh.
December,
the Avalanche also knew they were playing the Dallas Stars for the last 4 months of the regular.
Yeah. So, but you also got to keep in mind that a year ago, in 5 days, they completely turned over their goaltenders.
Yeah.
So within 10 days?
And that Anunin one with the comments, man, the receipts that Mark Mosier pulled to the surface a couple.
I already gave my thoughts on that one about how Mosier should shut up his receipts, because there's a few others that we could pull out where the receipts
Mosier does
right.
not want to go down the receipt path. I promise.
And the other thing is that you had your fans believing that they actually would graduate somebody,
and this is slightly off topic, but Mosier thought that the Broncos should have drafted Justin Fields, so I don't think he should be able to make a comment on sports for a couple of years still since then. But nonetheless, I brought up Sam Malinski. I didn't realize I cut you off, Evan. I apologize for doing that. I want to make you feel heard, my friend. We need to get like buzzers or like lights or like some cardboard cutouts of hands so we know when someone's gonna speak next. But in this scenario, let's talk to you again, Evan. Sam Malinski, my goodness, he looks like a professional hockey player. Would you know it?
Oh yeah, he's great. Malinski's. I mean, I think here's the synopsis on him. I'm kind of with Jackie of like, I don't know if they're fully committed yet with him, but he's sure making their job hard. Because he is doing good. He's doing very good, and I think that when you think about how the year started for him, playing on his off wing wasn't pretty, right? I think you could kind of see that. Granted, then you now have Ashan and Solyalov. I don't know how to say his name, but those two, their options. Are they great options? No, probably, but it has allowed Malinski at least to flourish a little bit more in his more natural, position on the right-hand side, and it's been good. Like that pass to Colton last night was really nice. Really enjoyed that, and that Colton finish was great.
Oh yeah.
I got so excited with that pass.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. And I think I've kind of mentioned it before that he's kind of Cale Makar-esque with his skating and his Cale Makar light. I guess maybe Sam Girard's like maybe the better way to put that, because I guess you'd put that in the tier ranking order would be those three. But
he's a better shooter than G, so it's hard. I think he's closer to Cale in terms of that, like getting shots through acumen. And
I think Sam's a better defender, though. So it depends what you're talking about.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Wait, which Sam? Which Sam are we talking about here? They're both Sams.
Yeah, he has the defense of Girard and the shot of Makar with a little bit of the mannerisms of Makar as well. I'd agree with you, Evan.
I would agree with that. I think, like I said, I think they're making the Avs job a little bit harder because they haven't fully committed to him. They've only been, year-long contracts the last couple of years. And I think if they do find something better or something that they would like more, I feel like that they would jump on the opportunity to do that. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean I don't love what he's doing, and I enjoy that a lot. So good for Malinski. Hope he keeps it up, and that he, is able to, I guess, fully graduate, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Well, here's the other thing. Hasn't the ship sailed on keeping him? He's going to be UFA. So if you think about it, he's a right-hander. If he puts up over 20 points this year, 20 to 30 points, is he looking at $4 million this summer?
Probably.
I'd say so. Yeah.
So are the Avs giving him $4 million, especially when they didn't give him term when they could have?
Yeah.
I don't know. That one
they're thinking on the Cale, the Cale thing. They got
but July 1st, Sam Malinski is a UFA, so
I know. But also, it's not the first time we've seen Sam Malinski do that type of bank pass. He did it in the playoffs against Dallas.
That's right, he did.
Gosh, I think he connected with Nelson, and it was either game 2 or 3. And I think they interviewed him after the game, and he responded with, "I was just throwing it up the ice." And it ended up being the prettiest pass that anyone saw during the playoffs. It went off the wall and it may have been actually to Colton. But again, and it went right off the wall, right onto the stick. He didn't break stride and ended up scoring a goal off of it. So it's not the first time he's done it last night. He's got a habit of doing this, and he's done it plenty of times in the AHL too. So
sure. Well, interestingly enough, Ryan O'Hara also has that. He says in talks with Malinski, he's credited advanced recovery methods. He talks about Brent Burns being the inspiration of that. That's pretty interesting. Jackie, I have a quote here from Jared Bednar that I know you're gonna have a response to in terms of Malinski and this quote unquote blossoming career. He said, quote, "It's more difficult when you're in a position when you feel like you have a contending team and you're trying to win all the time. Like a lot of our young guys we've traded over the years, you don't say, get players like Arturi Lekin and Josh Manson, but we're at a point where we have to keep developing those guys. We've got Bardakov, Brindley, a guy like Sam, Jack Ashan has come up through our organization, It's great to see those guys get rewarded for their years of hard work. End quote. How does that make you feel?
Well, yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, first of all, they can't blame. Well, first of all, you win with youth. Like, not all youth, but you need some. And I think I've explained that more than enough times.
Sure.
That winning and contending teams need youth. The other thing is that they blame it on because they've just traded stuff away. No, you've wasted a lot of stuff. You've had a lot of stuff in your organization signed in the AHL you did nothing with. But, everyone always forgets about that part. It's just the part about, we traded a lot of picks, so we don't have prospects. Not quite the truth there. The other thing, the Jack Deshawn thing, to me, is just still mind-boggling and mind-blowing, the whole thing. They floated the whole thing about, Middleton, he's been here for years. He finally made it. Where's Middleton now? So this whole Sean thing is like another one of they think they found some sort of gem, some sort of find, like they're outsmarting the whole league because they found this old AHLer. He's 28 years old, first of all. You just, on the broadcast, when they call him young guy, now I think they're trying to mean inexperienced, but still, it just is like an ice pick. It's just like, can we just call it what it is? I mean, this whole like, this is a young guy. Make your audience think he's like some 23-year-old they found. And the other thing is, he's been around a couple years. So why all of a sudden this year it's like, he's an option? It's just because you truly have no other left-handers you want to play?
Well, they're also down Girard, and they have very similar types of play.
But see, Girard plays defense, so you're not using a Sean like how you use Girard because Girard defends. So just because they're both small, and Sean doesn't.
I'm not saying they're both small. They actually do have both very similar styles of play,
except for the defending, which is what we use Girard
I've
for.
watched Deshaun play the defense, and I've seen him take out guys who are like 5-6 inches taller than him.
Well, defending isn't about hitting. Defending is about defending. Like, I get it. He's been good in the AHL, but it's a whole lot different when you think that you've decided some career AHLer is now all of a sudden an NHL option. Like, replacement level is a replacement level. It doesn't really matter who you use. So, fine, use him, whatever, but let's just call it what it is. It's replacement level. So, if they think that's what, we're getting contributions, is just pretty funny. And then we'll see how the Bardakov-Brindley story ends this season. We'll see where this goes.
I can hear the pessimism in your voice.
Well, one's gonna sit when O'Connor comes back, first of all.
And Kiwi Ronzo.
Well, is Kiwi ever coming back?
He was on the ice today.
That's good to know.
Well, Bednar said he's still on the same timeline, which is hilarious because there never was a timeline. But reading in between the lines, I guess it was a few months. So we'll see about that. But sure, if they think Brindley and Bardakov are gonna be true parts of this team, I would like to see them play more than 6 minutes. That's just me, but at least they're still here. They haven't been sent down. We'll see how that evolves. We haven't gotten into replacement season.
No.
So
sure.
We'll see if they survive replacement season.
I think we all know this team looks different than it's gonna when crunch time comes around and playoffs roll around. That's how it is every season.
So then does it even really matter? Does it matter?
I mean,
50 games and then get replaced. Cool, like whatever.
I mean, it does. It's experience. It
but
matters
then
to
experience
play
that goes
in the
to
NHL.
where? Experience that leads to what?
Well, you can't not every guy's just going to get called up and stay there forever. That's not a reasonable expectation, I don't think.
Well, sure, no, but they're already starting the merry-go-round. That should also be a concern.
Well, Brindley got hurt. I think Brindley would have been and should have been in the lineup every single night so far had he not got
I
injured.
agree with that.
Yeah. So I think there's promise. I hear you though. There's plenty of evidence contrary to that. So I think you have a point.
But back to the Malinski thing, I actually did write an article on the fact that Burns was going to be the benefactor. Well, actually, he was going to be the benefactor of Burns coming to the team, and that this was only going to raise his stock throughout the rest of the season. And he was going to see an increase in points. He was going to see an increase in ice time and things like that. Evan, you can probably remember that one. It was at like the end of July. So I'm not saying that I can tell you so to everyone, but yeah, I told you so.
I also think
that
was written in the sense that Burns was going to be paired with Malinski. I imagine so. So that has not happened, I think, for the most part, which is fine. And Malinski's still done well. So, I mean, like I said, to kind of bring it all back, like I said, like what he's doing, hope they have some sort of commitment to him and able to pair him up with not someone like an Ashan or Soliolov, whatever, and that it all works out, because it's good so far. I like what I'm seeing.
Sure. Well, let's use that as a little bit of a segue, since we kind of did a little bit of an injury update on Kiviranta. Let's do a little bit of an injury update. Otherwise, we heard from Jared Bednar today via Altitude Sports Radio that Logan O'Connor and Sam Girard have been skating, quote, for a while now, and that both of them could play as soon as this weekend. But based on kind of how he went along that interview, it doesn't sound like LOC is close enough to play this weekend. Maybe Sam Girard is a little bit closer, but both of them are, quote, on pace still and likely to play this month, towards the end of the month at a minimum. So that's really good news. Obviously, we saw Mackenzie Blackwood in his return against the San Jose Sharks. We'll see when he gets his next start. Bednar mentioned him as well in that interview, talking about how he's kind of shaking the rust off, and he did have a setback, as Brendan actually was keen on and noted during camp in August, mid to late August. So that did happen. So the timeline for his return has not been pushed back per se as much as it's been scaled down, I think, especially based on how well Scott Wedgwood has been performing. And that's why I titled this episode Wedgie and Winning, because, man, Scott is just taking the bull by the horns. Bednar mentioned it's easy to go with Wedgwood right now because of how he's playing. So that's very exciting. That's a quick little injury update. You guys have any thoughts on that update just before we move on to the next week's games?
I think
go ahead, Jackie.
The whole Blackwood thing's bizarre. Everything about it's bizarre. Even including playing him against his old team in San Jose, that made sense. But the whole, they had basically one game in like a week, and then he doesn't play, and then it's like, well, we'll just want him to practice more. I mean, that's not how they do it. That's very uncharacteristic. Just the whole thing is strange. I mean, if I had to bet, he probably will play this weekend, but it just still gets into like, did you then just rush him to play in San Jose? It's just very strange. It really is.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Like, we'll know if they plan on playing him, since they have a back-to-back on Saturday, and they're both road games, Saturday, Sunday, both road games. So I imagine if they have no intention of playing him, they're going to send somebody else out there to play the backup, or to play the second night, actually, or the first night, So,
yeah, but they're not day games, and they're both at 8:00 on the Pacific.
Sure.
And
I doubt anybody wants to play a back-to-back right now, though.
And they're also in different provinces. So so one's in Alberta, one's in BC. So it is a little bit of a more of a travel. They actually have to get on a airplane this time. But I thought the start was a little weird too. It's like, oh, let's just get him in for one, and then he stinks. That's what the general consensus was compared to Wedgie. But why not go with the hot hand and keep the team winning and get the padding of points and things like that. In fact, Letestu has been saying the same thing down in Loveland, and wanting to stay with Posh and Minor in that case. And that's why Kaiser got sent down to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Go ahead.
Wedgwood had a little blip of his own, so
Oh, yeah,
sure.
the whole, I mean, oh yes, it happens. Like, he's a backup, but I'm just saying the whole argument of like, oh, he's hot, we got to keep rolling with him. I don't know. I think that kind of ran out a little bit last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think he's used to playing this much at the beginning of the season. So, what's the most he started? Like 36 games in 1 year, and
think so,
that was
yeah.
with Dallas, and so it's
Mhm.
been a while.
Yeah.
If
It's
I had to
not-
guess, I'd say Girard will play this week. He always pushes himself. So if it was an upper
Yeah.
body injury, if he gets cleared or whatever, I don't
Oh,
see why
and
he
he's
wouldn't
been
play.
practicing with the team. Even today, he was on the ice for the full practice. With it being an optional, he was out there with everyone doing the full practice. So
How about Logan?
No, I didn't see Logan, but I saw Kiwi, and Brenly was in a full contact jersey. So I expect Brenly to be back this weekend.
I
Yeah,
would say that too.
Ryan had him coming out of the observation and said he was good to go. He was cleared. So I don't know if that means he's going to be back in the lineup, but that was from Brindley's mouth
Well,
to
if
Ryan's
you're
ears.
saying that you're cleared, then you're probably good to go.
Yeah.
Well, then it's
yeah.
up to, I guess him and Bardakov have until O'Connor get back. Knock on wood, as long
Exactly.
as nothing else happens. But I wonder if they're going to do the same thing. If they truly like Brinley better than just like sit Bardakov around. I don't think they'll have Brinley sit around.
I don't
Then
either,
he would
yeah.
go
Yeah.
to the AHL. So
Yeah,
I
don't think they want to mess with this whole, pulling people up and pulling them back and pushing them back down for a game and then bringing them back up, and it's just a mess with this new rule in place and things like that.
Well, they're
Yeah,
already
yeah.
starting the merry-go-round, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, we didn't even touch on the fact that Taylor Makar got a birthday present, or Cale Makar got a birthday
I like
present
how you
in the
put
form
that. I saw
of
that you
Taylor
wrote
playing.
that. I think
Yeah.
I truly think that's exactly what it was, because I mean, let's be honest, he wasn't ready. Like, if he did fine. It wasn't about that he didn't do
Sure.
fine, but you're like 15 games into your pro career. Like, Benner has this speech about you got to be an impact player and what you got to be doing with the Eagles and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, let's get real. So
Well,
so I mean, it was the pat on the back, it was the Cale birthday present, sure, whatever. And then Nielsen, the whole, we signed this guy, let's play him 4 minutes, and then that's it.
Makar's been playing really well down in Loveland, and he's actually been getting shouts out from the coaching staff and things like that. He's been jumping out on the ice. I
read the quote from Letestu. He was even saying, like, he's starting to get more physical. It's starting to, you know what I mean? Like, really measured kind of stuff. And he was complimenting him, but it was also like, he's starting to figure it out,
Sure.
And then it's like, and he has, 5 points, which is, like I always say, if you're not on power play 1, that's how many points are you going to get, first of all. But
Sure.
just it goes against the whole narrative that you have to be like this impact player and you have to be so important for the Eagles and blah blah blah. It's like, if you're going to give Taylor a pat on the back game, like, do it after he's had a decent amount of pro experience, because the whole thing, it was a Cale birthday present.
Well, it's not the matter of points; it's the matter of chances he had during the.
But that doesn't matter for
field.
anybody else. Like, I watched the Eagles. Ivan is playing really well too. Ivan's playing really well. But does that matter? No.
Ivan's not really jumping out, to be honest.
I disagree with that. I saw the game on, what was it? Whatever the game was free. I thought he played really well in that game. So,
well, we'll get a glimpse, I guess, of a lot of these guys. It feels like, at least until LOC comes back. Which Bednar mentioned that he was actually ahead of schedule, quote, ahead of schedule. But then once it got to like the physicality part of it, he was kind of maybe sorer in ways than he had anticipated.
It seems like they're kind of backing off that.
Yeah, send him back to the normal timeline. So we'll see. It does feel like it'll go Sam Girard and then Logan O'Connor in that order. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Evan, let's look ahead at this week's games between now and our next episode, which we've kind of laid out as the back-to-back on the weekend against the Canucks and the Oilers. kind of two intriguing national narrative type games in the sense of we have Hughes versus Makar and McDavid against McKinnon. You know, people love to do those matchups and stuff. That'll be in all of the pre-games for both games. Which matchup are you more intrigued by?
Oh man, I mean, it's got to be Oilers, right? No disrespect to Vancouver, but like you still playing Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, like that storyline is always going to be popular amongst the neutral fan, right? People just tuning in. So, and I think too, like McDavid's had a slower start to this year than maybe others expected, and McKinnon's been going crazy, of course. So, you know, you see this as a good opportunity for will McDavid try to catch back up, or will McKinnon extend his points lead, you know, whatever. And I mean, those two always just play a really good game anyway. And I mean, if it all works out, that's another Western Conference final, you know, preview that you get to see there. So Avs and Oilers always play a fun game amongst each other. And I'm looking forward to that on Saturday night at good old 10 p.m. Eastern out here. So
Hey, you chose to move out there, dude.
Yeah, you'll be awake until the next day out there watching that hockey game. But that's I don't think you're wrong. I mean, that's the big ticket game for me as well. Quinn Hughes, to answer vaguely stats now, who's formerly vaguely sober. Yes, Hughes did make his return on the 3rd of November. And so we will see him against the Colorado Avalanche. Jackie, what about you? How do you see those two matchups? Are you more keen on one than the other?
I think I prefer the Makar Hughes. I believe he was injured. I don't know if he was injured in every single game they played last year, but I definitely think at least one or two. So, I kind of think that's more interesting. I don't know. I'm so over anything having to do with McDavid. Like, it's just not interesting. It is funny that they complained about how he has a slow start. Like, I've heard that. And then I looked. He's leading the Oilers with 21 points. Like, just everything that has to do with McDavid is ridiculous. He's low in goals. He has like 4 goals. He has 21 points.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny.
Wow. Yeah. 4 goals, 17 assists. That'll do it. I didn't realize that. Damn.
I mean, I heard that too. I'm not saying you're wrong because I heard it too. But I decided okay, let's see how bad it is. And then I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
that's very interesting.
Oh, I didn't realize that either.
Need him for that.
So but I mean, sure, the Oilers are always an interesting test. I don't know, are they still? I think we mentioned this way early in the beginning, but it is even 14, 15-ish games into the season. Who is actually good? What is actually like a big test? What is actually like, this is an interesting game? So in theory, the Oilers should be, because they have been good. Like, are the Ducks an interesting matchup next week?
I was just about to say that.
That's where I was going to go, because
the Ducks are so fun to watch right now.
The Avs do.
I like young teams, so I mean, that's awesome. It'd be awesome if it's like a changing of the guard, and Montreal's for real, and the Ducks, and Utah and San Jose. If San Jose gets better, like even Chicago hasn't been awful. It's actually kind of interesting. They lose to Chicago every year. So what does it look like when Chicago's not terrible? So some of these things are interesting. So, but I'm more interested in the Oilers. Just, are they a good team still? Not like, oh, what's McDavid going to do? Because the Avs have been pretty good about shutting down McDavid for the last several years. Yeah. So I don't really think it's that crazy. Interesting.
I'm looking at these standings and I'm just like kind of
it's
blown away. I mean, it's drugs. Panthers last in the Atlantic right now with 13 points. And the Canadians first with 19 points. And mixed in there is the Red Wings, the Bruins, Leafs just the 4 seed in the Atlantic, with the Lightning and the Panthers, you know, not in the territory they're used to. In the Metro, you got the Devils, the Penguins, and the Hurricanes and Flyers as the top 4, with the Rangers and the Capitals rounding out the bottom of the Metro. Obviously, I think the Central is most like it
Competitive.
normally has been. Yeah.
But it's like
with
everyone's competitive.
Yeah, Avs,
Even
Jets,
Nashville's been
Mammoths, Stars.
okay.
Yeah, Stars are within 5 points, but they've also played another game than the Avs. So, and then the Pacific: Ducks, Knights, Kraken, Kings, with the Oilers, Canucks, Sharks, and Flames rounding out the bottom.
Well,
What
It's
a
just such a
division.
wacky.
You look at the East and you look at the winning percentage.
Yeah.
Every single team is above 500 right now. Every
Wow.
single team. And it's
Yeah,
because
that's
Montreal is giving away free points by taking them all to freaking overtime.
I think even
Yeah.
Buffalo's gotten a point in like 6 or more games in a row. Like they've lost
Yeah,
a lot in
Buffalo's-
overtime, but
Go
Yeah, they're
Sabres.
5-1
Maybe
and
people will
4.
be happy out here about their hockey team for once.
For once.
just saying they're not sucking yet either. They're finding a way. I
No.
mean, that's what they need to truly is find a way to get points. But
Sure.
especially in that division, like 90 points could get you in that division.
It could. It's crazy. But honestly, like, I like it. I wanted this year I want fresh ideas, and hockey is
me
no
too.
different. I want to see New Jersey's competing for the higher stakes hockey. Ryan says he wants to see the Red Wings be a real threat.
Because he writes for a Red Wings.
Yeah,
site.
we're not going to agree with the Red Wings. I
Yeah,
thought it was
we're not-
fun.
we don't agree with that, Ryan. Sorry.
I was going to say the Red Wings won, and then the only thing that can't change is the Avalanche.
And then they lost to
Yeah.
Buffalo, and that was amazing.
This is not the Motor City Hockey Lab. You are at the wrong place.
Yeah, just kick him out of the chat.
You're out of here, brother.
Not about the
you're
Red
outta here.
Wings hype. They don't have any interesting young players anyway.
Yeah, I got this for Ryan bringing up the Red Wings. When I hear that, I just come on, dude. Get out of here.
There are a couple players that I do like on the Red Wings, but I hate the Red Wings, and that goes back to the 90s, and it will always be that way. I don't care if they're not a rival now, but I hate the Red Wings.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's
you
true.
Know what?
It's tough going with the Avs fans.
Yeah. Well, that leaves one thing left for us, which is our bold prediction segment. Folks, thank you so much for tuning into this 118th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. There's about 700 of you watching live currently. So thank you folks very much. Please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com, where you can find our written material. Give everybody here on the panel a follow. That is Jackie K, Evan Lou, and Brendan Vogt. Evan and Brendan from Hockey Mountain High. Make sure you head over there as well. Check out their written material. But let's rehash last week's bold predictions, which, folks, if you're new to the program, every week we make a bold prediction. Each of us, sometimes we get two, depending on kind of the style of things. We circle back the next week. We hand out buzzers and we hand out dings based on whether or not your bold prediction was correct. Evan, we'll start with you on hashing them out. You said that Ross Colton would have 3 points in 3 games. No, that didn't happen. But Roscoe does look better up on the second line, which is funny because I feel like that's something we all already knew, that he would play
he's
better.
Less pouty.
Yeah, exactly. Jackie, you said that the Avs would win against New Jersey, so that is a ding. And you also said that a defenseman not named Makar would score a goal, which is wrong and surprising because
he scored
there were 8 goals. Exactly. Brandon, you had Gabe Landeskog scoring a goal and an assist in the next 3 games. He got the assist, and my goodness, he almost had the goal last night.
He almost had a Gordie Howe.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. He hit the puck right off the side of the net on a little one-timer pass. I think if he gets that one again, he probably makes it 9 times out of 10.
I was yelling at the TV.
You were not pleased. And then you had a Michael Misa goal for the Sharks game. I don't think that happened. It did. But what a name. So, good for you for bringing that name to the table here. And LOC back on November 11th is one of your season long. That might look pretty good here in a few days. Ezra, who's not on the show today, but shout out to our boy Ezra Parter. He said the Avalanche would score 15 goals in the next 3 games, which is unfortunate because they had 14 just before the Tampa game. And if you would have told me,
if they had Brad Marchand, I would have gotten one more.
Well, if we count the Tampa Bay game, which we shouldn't because he specifically stated 3 games, it would be a ding because the Avalanche had 17 in that time frame, and he got off to a hot start. I don't know if we would have let him
have it over 4 games, though.
No, he got off to a hot start with that 8-goal game in the first game of those 3.
Just only getting 2 in San Jose kind of cut into that.
Kind of hurt. Yes,
if they win that game in OT. He's
true.
There it is. That's right. Well, I'm going to run the track and shout out to our sponsor, and then I will get the 3 of your bold predictions as well as give my own here in a couple of seconds.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I call that bold talk.
All right. Bold Predictions is brought to you by Brews Ale House Brewing Company in Pueblo, Colorado. If you are interested in beer and you are interested in food, please head on over to Brews Ale House. They have a delicious variety of both, and they like hockey and basketball. So if you like to watch the Avalanche and the Nuggets, they will enjoy that with you. Please head on over there if you are in Pueblo, or if you're traveling through that neck of the woods, stop in, get yourself a beverage. Ask for Ado. I might already be at the bar. So that's that. Let's get our bold predictions for this week. Let's go ladies first again, Jackie, since you did earn a ding once again.
Okay. Well, assuming I finish it, I'm sure I will. But I have an article coming out tomorrow about the power play. I've been wanting to dissect it. Now, I know that Olofsson in particular has given a little bit of life lately, but I still think it's worth analyzing, so I am doing a deep dive on some analytics. So, if anyone is going to get upward regression, you all will probably think it's McKinnon, but that's not true. It's Makar. So, is it bold enough for me to say Makar is going to score a power play goal? Has to be power play goal. Is that bold enough?
I think it's bold enough
to say within the next week. Because I think
next week,
as far as
how about? Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
Like 3 games. I'm not giving within the next 3 games. So it has to be on a power play. But I think if anyone is due, it's him. So that's my prediction.
And make it bolder at home. He hasn't scored a goal at home.
Yeah.
Does that mean
Especially
I get 2?
Bold. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Do I get double points with
that limits it to 1 game on Tuesday, and that's
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that doesn't quite
might
work.
have a show before that game for all we
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
Oh, I
That's true.
just realized too that, and maybe I did this on purpose to save my ego, but I also didn't buzz myself before the music, which I had a McKinnon hat trick. Wish I would have said an Olofsson one. Gosh, that would have been wonderful. But
It was funny because we did mention hat trick, though. I think I said that I thought Natchez might score the first hat trick. And it was that night that we got a hat trick. It was like, ooh, we could feel it coming. The hat trick was coming. I guess next thing is a Gordy. That's our next thing that needs to come.
We almost got that too. That would have been crazy. A regular hat trick and a Gordie Howe hat trick in the same week would be something else. Brandon, what do you got for me in terms of your bold prediction? Any Gordie Howe hat tricks in there?
I wish. No, I say no McDavid goals for Edmonton, because the guy loves to frickin' score on us.
He doesn't, though. He really hasn't.
It's like that UC Saros commercial where he's all.
Oh no! Like he always has a point against the Avs. Always.
I'll say no points is bold.
Yeah. No points.
No points.
No points is what I mean. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's
no
fair
McDavid
enough.
Points.
No
Bang,
points.
bang.
I think I say that every Edmonton game.
I don't hate it though. I don't hate it. I say someone's getting a hat trick every week, but hey, that's just how the story
I hope to
goes.
see Podkolzin score.
Oh, I like it. I hope he doesn't, but I like it. Evan, what do you got?
I hope he doesn't, but that was good. Mine's kind of similar to Brennan's, but I'm gonna I guess for lack of a better term parlay it.
Okay.
McKinnon outscores McDavid first night, and Makar outscores Hughes the next night.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh,
I do like that. That's nice.
That's
Little
Isn't that
good.
twofer.
cool?
It's a nice double challenge.
I like that. I
If
think
this
that
one doesn't
earns.
go
it's
and I'm
very
still stuck on
possible-
0,
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, what if it's tied? It has to be outscore.
I
see, I
think
was
if
going to give myself the tie goes to the Avs, but I don't know if Brennan or not Brennan. I don't know if Ado will.
I'll
accept
give you
that.
tie goes to Avs because that's
Okay.
going to be
Okay.
that's two matchups that could really go either way in terms
If you
of
can't
points
tell,
and-
too, I'm also just desperate for a ding because
Yeah, you're the only one not on the board right so
Exactly.
far.
Well,
What did I
we
say
got-
when this whole competition started in October? You can count me out of the running. But I need
well,
one. I still
Makar
want to
does
be-
have more Norris trophies than Hughes.
Sure. Oh, how dare you bring that up?
Dang.
Wow. What a mean person for bringing up the truth like that. How dare you? All right. So we have some really good bold predictions so far. That just leaves me. We won't get one from Ezra this week, which is probably good for us because he's got 2 points. So we can make up some ground on him this week. I'm going to go with the other part of the Natchez deal, which is what I'm now calling it. And I will say that Jack Drury has a 3-point performance between now and our next episode, which it won't count if we skip a week. All right. It won't count, but we're not going to do that anyway. So I got a 3-point week for Jack Drury.
I guess if we
Very
have a
Patrick.
Tuesday show, then that still counts Tuesday.
Yeah, I would say so. 3 points.
Yeah,
3
I think
games.
that's fine. I think it's fine to give him 3 games, not 2.
That's basically a Jack Drury hat trick. That's basically what he's predicting. So same thing every week.
Things never change, Evan. This is what I try to tell you. Up is always up, and down remains down, and all is right in the world. So, all right, we got our bold predictions this week. I think we have some in the chat as well. We got Vaguely Stats says Skinner gives up 4 goals minimum to the Avs. All right, I'm writing it down, Vaguely.
What if they
Skinner,
play
a
Pickard?
minimum.
Don't they,
Yeah,
isn't he still there, Pickard?
yeah.
X is in
Yeah, but-
Edmonton. Yep. He's the backup for Skinner, even though I think Pix has played more.
Can you believe
I
that
just
they
feel I feel
call
like
him
Pickard's gonna
Picard?
play.
They call him Picard in Edmonton, so they don't
That's
deserve
not
that.
it. Yeah, I've
just
heard that
makes
name
no
enough in my
sense.
life. It's not.
But it's poutine or poutine depending on where you're at.
Yeah, well, folks, I think that does it for us today. Unless one of the 3 of you have anything else you want to talk about, I feel like we covered everything. Nice. That's my favorite silence of the week is when I know that I didn't, because sometimes we do the show and it's like, you forgot the most obvious. The show ends and I'm listening to it back and I'm like, dude, we didn't even talk about this. So I'm really trying to make sure we talk about everything. Evan,
As I say, you might not like that I'm about to bring up something that maybe is a point of discussion.
okay.
The use of McKinnon in overtime. People don't like it.
Okay.
People don't like
Yeah.
it. Here's why
I
it's
mean,
not changing.
yeah, I have a brief
on.
thought on that.
Here's why it's not changing. Because it's Nathan frickin' McKinnon. Okay? Like, yes, he might not be very good defensively in overtime with 3v3. I get it. But the man can pass. The man can shoot. They're not going to give that away.
Yeah.
Pun not intended. They are not going to give that away when you have a chance to win a game with him on the ice.
Yeah.
Like, it's silly to me. Yes, he hasn't been good, but it's silly to me that they're like, don't play McKinnon in overtime. No, it's not happening.
Well, here's my
Or how about putting Landy and Nuke on the top power play unit?
on the power play. Are we?
That's
Yeah,
that's a
top
whole
power.
other subject, Brennan. What are we doing here?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna talk things that aren't gonna happen, I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Just burn. Oh, that was an interesting
Damn.
burn right there, Brandon. That was like a freaking Inception burn. We didn't even know you were about to burn him, and you did. But no, I think it's a concept. I think it's a subject that fans have brought to the table. I'll say this though, Jackie, you put it perfectly earlier in the episode when you said this team has its ground to prove. Its proving ground will be in the playoffs, and you don't play 3v3 overtime or have any shootouts in the playoffs. So maybe take a deep breath and know that getting 5 points out of those overtime and shootout games should prove pretty paramount, considering, you know, you're the best team points wise in the entire hockey league right now.
I
Jack?
do have a thought about the overtime thing that Evan brought up, though. It's brave.
Okay.
I agree that in general, you want to put your best out, but sometimes you can't cater to the player. You have to think what's best for the team. This is how I would use McKinnon. I think he should be on the second wave. I think statistically the most dangerous part of 3-on-3 overtime is the counterattack. That's where I want him. If you can get him out on the ice on the second wave, maybe even still against tired players from the other team, tired defenders, that's where he's going to be on that rush attack. Maybe 1-on-1, maybe 2-on-1, maybe 1-on-0. That's where he's the most dangerous. So I don't think it'd be pearl clutching if you get 40 seconds of some other players when you use him when it could be the most advantageous in that second wave, in the second attack. So
have him jump the wall at like 30, 45 seconds in on the fly, not on the face off. And while they're trying to change. And they're going to see Nate coming over the wall, and they're going to be like, oh shit, he's coming over. I'll let you say it, not me. And he's coming over, and then they're just going to be like, we're not going to change now. And so
I'll let Petrangelo say it. He said it first.
no, what did he say?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh boy.
See, we know that they're not at their best when they're stationary. That's why the power play has issues. So I don't think it would be a slight to McKinnon. It would just be, we have this weapon. How do we best use it?
That's why the power play always looks best when all of a sudden one of those dudes just breaks in really quickly on the initial entry, because you're like, oh, there's that speed again. And you have numbers, just naturally speaking, you have numbers based on the man advantage. So I agree with you on that. And I do think you kind of got my wheels turning a little bit in terms of what Brendan said with, you know, getting off, being able to get the puck in motion for McKinnon is kind of his strong suit. So that would be nice. Not to mention, like, we've seen the Avalanche put guys out just to take the face off. So why doesn't McKinnon be the guy that comes off so that, you know, Brock Nelson can win the draw, and then those two dudes can switch instead of keeping McKinnon on instead of, you know, one of the more defensive oriented guys that's on that 3v3 power play. We sound smart. I like this. This sounds like a good idea. So maybe we're onto something, Evan. I'm glad you brought it to the table despite.
Are you trying to play the old boy sound clip, Brennan? Is that what I'm hearing? I can't hear it, but I think I faintly hear like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay.
There it is. There it
See,
is.
Exactly. That's what you want to create.
Oh boy.
Yes, that is exactly what you want to incite from your competition, and the best way to do it when you have one of the fastest men on earth on skates.
That might be a new sound clip, Ado. You
need to find the oh boy sound clip, so that way we don't have to use the video. I was trying to hold it this way so we don't get hit by NBC.
Sometimes it's more fun to do it the old school way, you know, because it was like all quiet. So everybody's going to have to listen really close when that part comes. Right on, you three. Well, I really appreciate you. I appreciate those of you folks out there who are watching and tuned in live. There's about 735 of you currently. You guys are awesome. More and more of you come to watch us do our thing every week, and we really appreciate it. Please head on over to the website, head on over to hockeymountainhigh.com as well for Brandon and Evan's material, milehighhockey.com for Jackie and mine. Make sure you add us on your Spotify catalog, your YouTube playlists, like, subscribe, share with your fellow Avalanche fans. And of course, come back next week and see whose bold predictions will be correct. We'll get an update on that scoreboard, and we will find out if next week the Avalanche still haven't lost another game in regulation. It would be really cool if that were the case. I'm just saying. But on behalf of myself, Adrian Hernandez, Jackie K, Evan Liu, and Brennan Vogt, this has been the 118th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. And until next time, go Avalanche.
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.